Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Alabama takes down Tennessee 34-20 in the third Saturday in October rivalry game against Tennessee. An unreal comeback win for the Crimson Tide, down by 13 at halftime. Nick Saban's teams at Alabama have done that one time before in the college football championship game against Georgia a couple seasons ago. 27 unanswered. They shut out Tennessee in the second half for the first time in 2 years, and they take down Tennessee 34-20, a massive comeback win for Alabama, keeping those college football playoff hopes alive as they will almost assuredly enter the top 10 next week in the AP poll. One injury note to get to. I don't think Tresman Marshall played. If he did not play that much for Alabama, it was some other defenders who stepped up in his absence. Talk about those guys at linebacker later on. But Terrion Arnold left the game with what was termed an upper body injury. No other details as of filming this right now beyond that. Hopefully he's okay. Trey Amos, I thought, fared pretty decently in his absence. So before we get to our takeaways from today's game, one word only, reaction to Alabama beating Tennessee. Impressive, needed, stressful, maybe for you, producer Chris. One word reaction, sound off in the comment section right now. Some key takeaways against Tennessee. Number one, I cannot emphasize this enough, what a comeback that was. That was a game and ooh, I don't know, boys. This might not be your day. You've not moved the football very well on offense. You had a chance late to take that lead. Milroe throws the end zone interception off of a double tip, I'll call it. It leads to a 10-play, 80-yard scoring drive for Tennessee. You're down by 13, and then you get a quick two-strike scoring drive on offense, basically a 3-and-out on defense, a field goal, 3-and-out, touchdown, strip sack fumble. All of a sudden, it's a 14-point lead. Your defense stands strong, and you gut out a massive, massive win over a ranked team in Tennessee to really set yourself up very well. Take care of business against LSU and Auburn, taking home the SEC West title, and getting the right to play Georgia in a college football playoff elimination game later on this season. So how do you grade Alabama? That first half felt like an F. First half was an A++. How do you grade them? A, B, C, D, or F. It is today's pinned comment. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. All right, takeaway number 2. I thought Jase McClellan, down the stretch in this game, really emerged as the workhorse back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He had in total 27 carries in this one, 115 yards, 1 touchdown as well. Caught 1 pass for 6 yards, if that helps you out in college fantasy or whatever. He was the workhorse on offense. He got the ball. And those numbers, the average kind of dipped. It was at one point 19 for 100. And then, with just run the ball up the middle 6 times, they didn't do much when, obvious running situations only there. Thought Jase McClellan played really well, but he clearly is this team's number 1 back. They'll use Roy Williams sparingly. I didn't see any Justice Haynes in the backfield. No, Jim did a great special teams play. Jan Miller did. But Jase McClellan is this team's number 1 back. Do the ire producer Chris sometimes early on for not bouncing it wide or cutting up the middle or following his blockers, whatever. Finished very well in a big performance for Alabama. Today's show and our live watch part that we did for was made possible and is made possible by PrizePicks. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It is just you against the numbers. You don't battle other players, the pros, the sharks, whatever. It's just you against the numbers. More than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Producer Chris and I both made picks. I had Jalen Milroe, less than rushing yards. I think there's going to be a bunch of sacks. There was for Milroe, not so much for Milton. I got the more than Jermaine Burton catches. Flex play checked for myself and for producer Chris, who was feeling the Burton-Milroe connection. More than receptions, more than receiving yards, not on the passing yards. They didn't throw it at all like the final half of the fourth quarter. That's why I came up short there. That's why he did the flex play. Nice little return there. PrizePicks is offering you a first deposit match up to $100 when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS Links in the comments and the description. But again, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Takeaway number 2, with Tresman Marshall not really playing because of that rib injury, your linebackers balled out. The numbers from today's game: Deontay Lawson, 12 tackles and a critical pass breakup. Tennessee ran the ball well early, and then after that kind of first couple drives, it was all quarterback draws. That was it. And Lawson was a big reason why. Some big-time plays at or near the line of scrimmage. And Jihaad Campbell, how about it? 10 tackles, a tackle for loss. Perhaps most impactfully, that absolutely massive fumble recovery, scoop and score to basically ice the football game for Tennessee. I thought the linebackers, Lawson and Campbell, also mentioned, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry, locked down his man. I don't have the exact coverage numbers. I think it was really good. They were looking at Arnold, at Amos, at Moore. They were not throwing the way of McKinstry with limited success when they did. But the defense played great. Second half dominance out of the Crimson Tide. Who gets the game ball for Alabama in this one? Sound off in the comments section. Is it McClellan? Is it Milroe? Is it your defensive units? Whatever. Drop that player name or names you want to be an overachiever for me in the comments section. Jalen Milroe, I thought, played well. The turnovers were some issues. The fumble was bad. Didn't feel it well. Roberts didn't recover it like maybe he should have. But in total, 14 of 21, 220 yards. And he had about 25-ish, somewhere in that range, on the ground late in that football game. The interception was, it was mostly bad luck. It's a little bit underthrown, but the odds of the corner batting it from behind and tipping it, having it bounce off Jermaine Burton's face mask into the arms of a safety, are very low. Like 9 times, then the incomplete pass, let's see another down. But he made some big plays in the third quarter, on the ground and through the air. The big play touchdown to Isaiah Bond. He had a nice scoring drive on the field goal too. And then the other touchdown as well. They did a good job down the stretch, taking advantage of what they had. The 13-yard scamper in the red zone was massive. He had a big throw to Burton for 22 yards. I thought, although not perfect, Milroe played well enough to win. Tell you there's the 7 points of the defense, right? It's fine. You know what? You had 27 points of offense. That should be enough to win with the way this defense has played so far this year. If you have not already hit that sub button, youtube.com/@RollTideTV. Free videos, including tomorrow's Overreaction Sunday, when you guys are subscribed. We made a big deal going into this game. Penalties from Alabama. They were a complete non-factor today. 1 penalty for 5 yards, and it was a snap infraction on Seth McLaughlin, because of course it was, after a hilarious sequence of offsides, false start, snap infraction. Tennessee had 8 penalties for 55 yards. Some of them were questionable. They also had the 2 overturned short yardage plays they did not get. I should have the correct one there. I thought the refs, honestly, were Bama leaning today fairly heavily, but it ain't the refs' fault why Tennessee lost. Petey, you blew the game. Alabama earned the win. Hats off to them. Now they enter the bye. Look at a nice little breather before facing LSU, Kentucky, and Chattanooga, and Auburn down the stretch as the SEC West favorites win a massive game at home against Tennessee.